Today we have on Sunday Lounge Ibirunke Bashonru. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Yes, it's such a joy to have you on the show. Grateful for the opportunity to have you on the show today. Ibirunke Bashonru is a renowned gospel artist, and I know her to be someone who loves God, and from deep inspirations from God, that's where she ministers. And it's such a joy to have you on the show today.
I'm honored. So honored.
Yes.
I'm glad to be here too.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And the topic, as we will be talking about today, is worshiping through the storm. And worship itself, it's a big topic. And looking at the topic from the perspective or the context in which it came, Jesus was speaking to a Samaritan woman. When we really got that concept of worship as we know it now in the church or as Christians, when he told the woman that a time is coming and now is, and that's in John 4, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. So I think generally as Christians, many times we probably understand to a good extent what it means to worship in spirit, but worshiping in truth, looking at it from the woman's perspective, the truth of what it was for the Samaritan woman at that point, and worshiping through Jesus Christ. I'd like to really just start on that note. Based on, because I think there are two aspects to anybody, and now I'd address the two angles to you. You are a gospel minister, and at the same time, you are also a Birunke Bashorun. You're a person. You have a life. You have the personal side to you.
Yeah.
So I'm asking from the perspective of you being a gospel minister. Okay. So like being a worship leader, how would you interpret that part of worshiping in truth? We understand the part of worshiping in spirit, aligning with the Spirit of God. I think that has been emphasized so much in the church, emphasized so much every now and then. But now worshiping based on truth. Is it worshiping based on the reality of what you're going through, or is there another aspect to truth in this context?
That's a deep one. I think in this context, what we're talking about, worshiping just the way you are. Coming before God just the way you are. No makeups, trying to form. Worshiping God in truth. The truth that, okay, this is what I'm going through, God, this is who I am.
Yeah.
I might be the president of the world, but I am your child. Worshiping God, acknowledging that Him alone is God. Now, the real definition of worship is adoring God for who He is. So in a church context, they will tell you, the first song is the praise, the
yes,
is the worship. Is the context of what you're doing at that time. You understand? When you say praise, that means that you're talking about somebody's work.
Yeah.
Talking about what He has done. So worship now means bowing, coming into His presence, opening up to Him. Making God see you.
Yeah.
See you the way you are. That is worship in truth.
Yeah, so worshiping God the way you are. And now today we are talking about worshiping through the storm.
Okay.
And how possible, because the storm itself is distracting on its own. Because bringing up this topic, there's this picture in my head, and it's the picture of Peter. As much as he wanted to worship Jesus' majesty and his power, that he can walk on the water, but there was a storm raging and he knew the possibility of him sinking. And every point that in that passage, when he would look at the water and look at the storm, and that was when he started drowning. And then when while he was walking on water, his focus was on Jesus. So every time, let's say that's worship, his focus on Jesus, and then there's still that storm raging. How possible? From the human standpoint, let me ask, from the human standpoint, is it possible to worship through the storm?
Well, it's so difficult. So difficult. Many years ago, before I even got to the age of getting married, there was this time I was reading, I don't know this psalm right now, talking about, this Bonnie M has used the psalm as a song, by the rivers of Babylon, here we sat down.
Yes.
It's in the Psalms.
Yes, it is.
How can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? A strange land is where you're going through a lot you don't understand. You don't know if it is you going forward, going backwards. You don't have anybody to help you. You can't really explain it. And there you want me to worship. So we are talking about an experience like that. It's not an easy task. Even God our Father knows us. He knows when we are down. He knows. It's not a mechanical thing like you just swing into it. This year, making 6 months now, I lost my husband.
Oh, so sorry to hear that.
It was a very trying time for me. Very, I wouldn't lie to you when, the first few weeks when he died. It was so difficult for me to even hear anything called the gospel. I remember Mommy Tonsheton coming to my room and she just this room is too dull. Let us saturate this atmosphere with music. I'm like, I don't want to hear anything. I just didn't want to hear anything. I was angry. Actually, I was angry.
You were angry
at God. At times, like, I think I did everything. I prayed. Even I led my husband through the sinner's prayers before he died. All over again. I did everything I knew humanly possible.
Yeah.
And I tried to get in the best health care system in Nigeria. We were not lacking of money. And still, I was still asking God, why?
Yeah.
Then I was like, I got married late. And you gave me this man. You told me this is my reward. I was mad at God. And at that time, I think God purposely did it in a way where I lost my voice.
The moment after the loss?
Yeah, I lost my voice. I lost my voice. I didn't know how I sang. I sang at the burial ceremony, and I lost my voice. I was empty. I was in deep depression. I was empty. And all I was singing is questioning God. I was just questioning Him. And later on, I found that my grief became more like, I could feel grief like a spirit
that's
taking over me. When I begin to cry and the spirit comes upon me, like a spirit comes upon you, and I begin to cry and I can't help myself, and then I got to know that, look, I need to come out of this.
Yeah.
I thank God for friends that were all around me, and they were like, IBK, you need to just take it a day at a time. I know you don't need to start praying now.
Yeah.
Praying was difficult for me. I know, just take it a day at a time. Even reading the Word of God, just take it a day at a time. But I now found that one thing that helped me was that I surrounded myself with the Word of God. I surrounded myself with good energy.
Yeah.
I surrounded myself with people that kept speaking the Word of God to me.
Yeah.
Even Mommy Tosheta was old, I was singing, holding my hands, singing. But I was like, my body wanted to reject it. Not until, I'm not trying to publicize any group. I started joining these early morning prayers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on YouTube, then I prayed my heart out and I started worshiping God.
Yeah, and I'd really like to dig into this,
Okay.
and I think your journey this last few months itself is a message about worshiping through the storm. I believe this is going to help somebody in a storm, someone going through something, and some of them, it could be a loss, some it could be a situation that is so present at the moment and it looks like they're losing the battle, and now you're coming with a message to worship through the storm. How is that even possible? And I'm sure your story, your journey would be an encouragement to them.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of teary, so you don't need to.
It's
normal.
Yes, yes, this is it. And I'd like to say this just before you go on, that I appreciate it. We appreciate it that you would, because it's not everybody that can use their stories to encourage other people. It's not easy enough to, share this and for you to use it to encourage. So I just want you to know that we appreciate it. And this is like a gift. I want you to know that it's like you giving us a gift.
This will be the first time I'm talking about it, and it's so emotional for me. In fact, what really got me teary is music is powerful.
Yes.
That song is just, the song that was just talking about me. No matter what being a Christian and a worshiper and a leader is a very big responsibility. A very big one. Because there are a lot of lives that are attached to you. There are a lot of people that you sang about God, they've seen God's faithfulness, they received their healings through your ministry. And like I said, I was in a very I was in the lowest point of my life, because I remember somebody said they had to hold me at UCH that I nearly jumped down the balcony. And my husband was everything to me. I call him my reward. Wow. Everything was my closest friend. He got me.
Yeah.
He actually got me. He saw me for who I was.
Yes.
He saw me for who I was. So it was a pain, a deep pain, a deep loss for me. Like I told you, I lost my voice totally. Even during the service, I can remember at the cemetery when I was watching the video, I was just speaking in tongues.
Wow.
I could not, I think God purposely did that way, because I found out that there was a spirit that came upon me. I was trying to free myself, but I couldn't. I couldn't. And
you mentioned like spirit of grief.
Yeah. I was battling with the spirit of grief, and I was battling with the spirit of God inside of me. Like, the grief is a demonic spirit. And I found out that the enemy wanted to capitalize on it, to make me see the bad aspect of what happened to me. Not until later, when I joined like I told you, I joined the
morning program.
And I began, there was this life came back to me.
Yeah.
I was taking it, I wasn't forcing myself. Like it's a routine. When you wake up in the morning, thank you, Jesus, you do worship. And it wasn't like that for me again. I started, I just began to see God in another way.
Wow.
I think most times things like that happen to us to shift our attention totally to God.
Okay.
I tell people that you don't really, you can't tell me you know God when everything is cool around you.
Yeah.
I would tell you truly that but there are some things I've seen for the past 6 months now that I tell people that if I've never trusted God, in fact, this time I believe there is God.
Yeah.
My previous life before now, I know there was God, but now.
Say your previous life.
Before what happened?
Yeah, like this seemed to be like a new
reality
for you.
Because I've seen God come through for me in difficult situations. Imagine we started a business and we had a debt of 15 million. Where will I get the money from when he died? And somehow, God just arranged it.
Wow.
Not all the people I thought could help. It wasn't their fault that they couldn't help me. It was just because they didn't have. Nobody can give you 15 million. And I was not ready to go to the bank for a loan. And the creditors are outside there. Harassment and everything. But, in the midst of everything, while I was praying, and there's this song by Evangelist Elijah. That song was my favorite song during those period.
Okay.
Ọlọ́run Bàbá Lọ́lá. I just kept singing that song. I would just begin to say, Ọlọ́run Oyèdépò, Ọlọ́run Adébóyè. I just kept singing different kinds. Ọlọ́run Emmanuel. I just be singing. Èmi máa ń rí iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ rẹ.
And were you feeling like it, or was it something you were doing forcefully, or did it come from a spirit?
It was coming from my spirit.
But it wasn't what you felt, your flesh.
Exactly. The thing was that I was in pain, truly. But I had to come out of it. When I came to the knowledge that, look, this grief is either going to land me into the hospital or I'm going to follow the dead person too.
Okay, so I'd still like you to continue, but
Okay.
I'm just trying to bring the message. So worship was your way out of grief.
Was my way out.
It was worship that broke that power that grief had over you.
Exactly. So I'll just wake up, just be singing that song over and over. That was a song for me at that season. I kept singing that song, and I'll be dancing. I'll just be dancing because I now understood that what happened to me was not ordinary. Okay, what happened to me, because later on I had some conversations with God and he spoke to me and he said, do I trust him? I said, God, I trust you, because I remember there was one day I was in Evangelist Topalabi's house and she just came to greet me. I said, okay, Ronke, come and stay with me for some time. And I was entering the bedroom and I just heard clearly in my ears. I said, do you trust me? I said, God, I trust you, but it pained me. It pained me.
Yeah, you're being honest with him.
It pained me. You didn't. It pained me. But I trust you. And I came out from the bedroom and I heard in my spirit, I heard another voice again. He said, this is a new beginning for you.
Wow.
It's a big new beginning. So when I came back home, I came back refreshed. That day I wrote a song. I'm still working on it. And then I started writing songs all over again. And God...
You had like a fresh inspiration.
Exactly. And, my love for God was now more than what it used to be before.
Yeah.
I now saw that side of God that I've never seen before. I now saw that God was actually inviting me into a deeper relationship with him more than before.
Yeah.
I could have been, I was actually on the surface. Now I now understand that most times when we go through some difficult time, God is trying to shift our gaze to him.
And the situation is more like that tunnel that you go through, even though it's all dark.
The devil will be bringing towards your face like, look. But that is actually the time for you to shift your gaze to him.
Yes.
Let me give you one very funny example. There was a day I had no food in the house. I had no food in the house, and I have a lot of people living with me. Normally, I'm a people person. In my house right now, I have like 10 people living with me.
Wow.
So I can't do without people. And that was the kind of man I married to. We had people living with us, and there was no food. And I said, God, the widow of Mashoro is here. I've not eaten today. And I just remember the widow of Zarephath.
Yes.
I said, this is not the widow of Zarephath. This is the widow of Bashar. I'm not eating today. I am hungry. And just that evening, somebody just called me from the US. Oh, my good approach. And just called me, say, Auntie, Sherry got more sense in me. And I checked my account and I saw it said some particular amount to me. I was like, God, for real?
Yeah, you're that attentive to my needs.
Really?
Yes, 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 yes.
You know?
Yes.
And then I'm telling you about me having a debt of 50 million and God writing it off for me.
Wow.
Didn't use people I know.
But
didn't use anybody. All the people I went to, they didn't really have. And you know the funny thing, at that time, I anytime before I go to the person, I will sleep, I will dream about the meeting. I will see what the person is wearing the following morning.
Wow.
I never had such gifts before. I will hear what the person will say. And when I'm going there, I'm like, okay, the first day it happened to me, I thought it was a joke. And I got there and I saw what the person was wearing, and everything he said to me was the same thing I got in the dream. And later on, when this scenario just happened like twice like that, and I said, God, why are you showing me this? He said, because I don't want you to be angry at them. I'm telling you that they don't really have.
Wow. well. It's just, you know what I find really interesting and calming about your journey so far is the presence of God. The not just we know God is everywhere. We know God is with us. My name Pelumi, right? That excites me. But knowing that God is with us is different from when God manifests in a really tangible way to you, and you experiencing it at a time like that.
He knew he had to father me.
Wow.
He knew I was in my vulnerable state. He knew I was just like Job. He knew he had to take care of me.
We sometimes hear stories, sometimes even from the church, and we hear that, oh, you're going through this thing and you say you don't want to praise. You have to, and it sounds more like something that you have to force yourself to do even when you don't feel like doing it. But from your story, what I can pick is, even though you don't feel like it, there was a presence aside the grief you mentioned that aided it and made it. You spoke about you singing a particular song and you said it came from your spirit, like it just flowed, even though your body felt sad and all, but there was a part in your spirit that helped that process of worshiping. So I'd like to speak about that aspect. I would like you to address that aspect.
Okay.
About, it's not something you would have to force yourself to do, and how God would help you in such seasons to go through it and stick with Him.
You see, we need to understand, when we're growing up, the picture we have about God is someone up there, very big, controlling the whole thing, yes. But we fail to understand that He understands what we go through.
Yes.
Now, I know there's a Bible that talk about Jesus coming to us in the form of man, so to understand. He understands what we're going through.
Yes.
So, even though there was a time I denied Him at that time, like, man, God, what are you doing? You took this from me. Why? And God was still patient for me.
Yeah.
And He understood what I was going through right now. So he, like I said, He fathered me through the season. Yeah. And He's still doing that. Do I still cry? Yes, I just did one episode now. I do that every day. Do I still miss my husband? I do. But the thing is that I now realize that it was just time for Him. He came into my life for a particular reason and for a particular season. You understand? And somebody said something to me, a pastor and a doctor, and he said, because I remembered like 2 days before his passing, 4 days before his passing, I remember I was in the house and I was led to lead him in the sinner's prayers in the morning, and he prayed the sinner's prayers, and went to the hospital, and everything just happened within a week. Somebody
Wow.
we traveled a week, went partying, in fact the pictures were online and everything, and after a week, woo.
Wow.
So, and when I was now sharing that experience with the pastor, and he said, you just completed your assignment. That God gave you a package and you delivered it back to him.
Wow.
That as you didn't just marry him. It was a package God gave to you and wanted you to support him. And you delivered the work. Did you do a good job? Yes, you did a good job. So, and all those experiences at that time, I just found that, okay, how can you, Pelumi, please explain to me. We have 2 hospitals.
Okay.
And while
your late husband was a medical doctor.
Was a medical doctor.
Yes.
He's a gynecologist. We started the business together.
Wow.
And like I was explaining to you, all of you know him. We were like twins.
Yes,
we see us together everywhere.
Very close.
It's so difficult for me to do some things right now. I'm getting used to it. And we have an hospital which has an IVF lab, and is the aspect of his own medicine that is actually bringing in money. The general aspect where we have the surgery and we might not even make money, as in, okay, let's just say our income in that other aspect of the medicine, like 300,000 in a month, and the other aspect, which is the fertility, is actually bringing in money. My husband died. What do you expect? That other aspect now that is working should not bring anything. And I found out that aspect started working.
Better.
Wow. I started paying in my... It's everybody, even the workers were like, when Oga was alive, this wasn't...
Yeah, when the expert was there.
Yeah. It wasn't working. So why now? And I didn't owe them any salary even till now. 6 months. When it happened, a very close friend of ours, who is our lawyer, just said, "Dibironke, pack up this business. You can't do it." And while he was saying that, I had the spirit inside and he said, "If it works, how will you know? If you pack it up, how will you know?" I could have said, okay, because the grief I was going through wanted me to pack it up, because I was like, you are making sense, right? You're actually making sense. You're giving me the right counsel. And the other spirit inside of me, which is the spirit of God, was saying, if you pack it up, madam, how will you know if it will work or not? Okay, let me just give it a try. And we left it, and how God just organized how we had some consultants come in, take up the job, and the person, somebody wants to partner with me. Everything just started. I said, oh God, what is going on here?
Yes. Picking from what you're saying right now,
okay,
is that just giving this picture of how a season could come with so much pain, and at the same time bring so much good with it.
Exactly.
It's something our minds cannot comprehend.
No, will I say so much good, but it shows that whatever you're doing is not by your power, it's by God himself. Because if I say it brings good, like it might be interpreted in the wrong
way. What I mean by the good, I'm not just talking about the financial aspect you spoke about at the moment. I'm talking about, for instance, yes, the totality.
The spiritual life.
You saying you were about to have a meeting, and then you can already see what they will be wearing. And now there is this fresh inspiration coming from you, a dimension of God you've never experienced. You're beginning to experience.
I decided to have a deeper relationship with God. The devil was actually using that to take me away from God.
So yes, a storm could do either things: take you away from God or draw you closer to Him.
So I just decided, okay, I will just. It has been working for me all this while. So let me stick to who I know has been working for me, to have a deeper relationship with Him.
Yes.
If I begin to tell you all the testimonies God gave me in this period, in fact, we won't finish this show. Am I going to talk about divine healing? Somebody coming to the hospital And God just woke me up in my room one day and said, go downstairs and go and pray for this person.
Wow.
And I just went up into the hospital and I just said, dear, do you believe in God? Are you a Christian? Yes. Are you going to say the sinner's prayers right now? Yes, I'm going to say, because she had a kidney problem.
Wow.
And and they were treating her.
Wow.
And I don't do that all the time. And we just prayed together, and within 5 days she stopped. She was urinating blood, and the blood just stopped. Yeah.
Wow. And that never happened before the incident.
That was because majority of us we do religion. We don't really have a relationship with God. I was born in it. I got used to God. Most times we get used to Him.
They're used to God.
We get so used to Him that we just feel dear God. When we pray, He will answer us. When we ask, it got to a stage I was too used to God.
Yes, I have a question for you. Before and after the incidents, when have you felt the love of God the most?
Now, I saw people in their real elements. People I felt loved me, and I saw them in their real elements right now. And things that I thought could have drowned me, even people thought I wouldn't have made it. Even me, I thought I wouldn't have made it. But God helped me through it all.
Wow.
God, actually, I'm telling you, there is God.
There's God.
There is God.
That statement, there are two ways to it. You could say there is God, like we know there is
I'm
God.
Telling you,
but
God is
from
real.
Experience, encounter with
I was telling my people 2 days ago, I don't think there can be anything that will happen to me again that will say there is no God. There is God. I have seen God. Somebody 2 weeks after my husband's burial, I went to church that Sunday. I didn't wait like a year like everybody do. In fact, what am I saying? 2 weeks after, I went for a ministration in Lagos.
Really?
Yes, I sang in. And then after that, I came to church. And I did Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving Sunday. And somebody walked up to me in my office and said, Sister Birunke, and I heard about your husband's death. It really pained me. I was like, this woman has served God. I know her for a long time. She has always been on this altar, singing, doing it. But when I now saw you on the altar, I said, my faith,
wow,
rose up again. I said, God, are you serious? This woman, with everything she has gone through. I said, all those kind of, at times when you just say, God saving is just not for you alone, actually. You need to know that.
Yes.
There are a lot of people looking at you.
Yes. Your lot of destiny is
attached to you.
Yes.
So I realized that a lot of them were like, okay, if this can happen and this is how this woman is taking it, then no matter what I'm going through, God can help me through.
Yes. Yes.
So that's why I'm saying this on air. No matter how bad situation might be, you don't need to give up. Don't give up yet.
Yes.
Whatever we're going through is like a script. I believe what happened to me is to encourage somebody there. And, oh my God, it's just to let you know that there is God. He's going to bring you out no matter how bad the situation might be.
Yes, and I think there's a different part of knowing there is God. And there's also a part of knowing there is a God that loves you.
He loves all his children. He loves all his children.
I understand that he loves all his children. There's a way you say, oh, he loves everyone. But there is a way it gets all personal. And when he loves me, he's aware of me, he's conscious of my pains, my hurt, he understands my struggles.
He loves all of us the same. He's just waiting for us to have a deeper relationship with him. Not just knowing God on the surface. Have a deeper relationship with him. A deeper relationship that I'm talking about is something you take a day at a time. Just don't force it.
Yeah.
He knows like children now, that there are some very brilliant children. Like me now, you give me a book to read now, I'll sleep. But you do give me something to do with my hands. Oh my God, you'll be so surprised what I'll bring out of it. He knows our capability. He knows what we can do. So God, that is how God takes us. Not like there are some people, they will need to walk, pray, and they will fast. They'll go on the mountain. There are some of us that thank you, Jesus, Father, I love you. I don't know more scriptures, but I know you love me, and I know you're going to take me out of this mess, and God will do that. You understand? So God is calling us back to having a relationship with Him.
Yes.
The most important thing I keep telling on Christians these days, let's go back to having a relationship with God. Every other thing will be added.
Yes, I think sometimes storms and situations we find ourselves sometimes is what sometimes snap us out of the vanity and whatever we are engrossing ourselves in, and just kind of shift our focus back to what matters.
Yes, to what matters.
Yes. I appreciate what you just said, and also there is also a part of, I'm not sure if it aligns with your story, but a part of understanding, is there a point, let me just put it, is there a point where you get to where you really understand why what happened?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I understood what happened. And all that happened was to get me. I was the focus. I wouldn't say more than that. I was actually the focus.
Yeah.
You see, there's an assignment God has given every one of us. There's a new assignment God is giving me right now.
There's a new assignment
God is giving me right now. You see, God is interested in the prosperity of His children, not prosperity only in finances. In every aspect of your life. And it's because of the kingdom. I'm saying this now, encouraging somebody. I'm preaching the gospel in another way.
Yes.
You understand? So I need to be comfortable. I need to be in the right mind to be able to preach this gospel. I need to be able to sing the gospel. You understand? So God is interested in us. So I understand that it was an attack towards me. Because the devil actually, was on my neck. Was on my neck, like this girl. I could see the battle between him and God for me, like somehow. And I thank God took the victory.
Wow.
Okay.
But then there is still some specific things I want to hear from you, and some specific message I'd like you to pass across to people that might be in the storm and wondering, how can I even worship? Oh, she's strong. I don't think I'm that strong. I don't think I can do that.
Strong.
I know you've been ministering to us all along, but really like you to minister to specific people that are in situations like this, because you mentioned that somebody walked into your room when it started, like just when it happened, and person was like, okay, let's put in worship and all, and you just would not hear it. What would you like to say to someone that is in that phase? Because it's just a phase in the entire process. What would you like to say to somebody that is in that phase, that I don't want to hear it? I don't know what you're saying, but I don't want to hear it. This is what I'm facing at the moment.
Do you know, I don't know if I could give a shout out to somebody for Lakemi.
Please go ahead.
I never met her before. She was this lady that sang, this carol, the one they did. Is it Jesuyo?
Okay.
The very popular
one.
And she just saw my story online on Instagram, and she messaged me, please, where are you? And I would love to come and see you.
Wow.
And she came from Daystar in Lagos.
Wow.
She came to my house, and she went through the same experience. Her husband died young. And since everybody has been coming to greet me, I'll just be looking at them because they say, you know, and you wear more Borano. I'm like, Borano? Do you know what Borano means?
What are you saying to me?
It's not a chicken that died.
Mm.
I'm talking about my life. I'm talking about somebody I've gotten a point like, okay, this is it for life. I'm not thinking of marrying. I'm not thinking of, that kind of thing. Everything was set for my life and all that. So when she came in, she just said, I got you. I just started crying. She said, I know what you're going through. If I tell you won't cry, there's a lot of seasons, you still cry. You remember the birthday, you cry. Remember Valentine's Day, you cry. There are wedding anniversaries that you still need to cry. There are this anniversary, you need to cry. Just say, keep crying.
Yeah.
For that person that is listening to me right now, Jesus got you back. God no go shame us.
God no go shame us.
No matter how bad it is, just know the devil will be putting your focus towards the shame. The devil will be putting, turning your gaze towards the pain. You understand? But this is the right time to shift your gaze towards God. Look at it. Or is it, Peter was drowning in the water. What did Jesus say? He didn't stretch out his hand. He said, look at me. So this is time for you to look at God. Not until when Peter shifted his gaze away from Jesus, that's when he started drowning. So keep looking at Jesus, the author and the finisher of your faith. So keep looking at him. Have a relationship with him. Take it one day at a time. Don't rush it.
Don't rush it.
He knows.
Don't allow people to.
No, exactly. Don't allow people to. Just take it the way it comes. It is normal. Those pains are there to build you. Those pains are there to make you stronger. You understand? I'm standing here today. I'm telling you, it's a script. It's a script.
It's a script?
Yeah, it's a script for a drama that is about to be released. God is giving you that script because somebody will need that script. I'm sharing this experience with you. Man, when people see me, they say, Sabroka, I know you have always been strong. Man, I've never been strong. I just got to know that I was never strong. I was never strong. So, my dear, stand up. Stop crying. Shift your gaze to God.
I remember when we started, you mentioned that you were angry, and I confirmed that you say you were angry at God. Has He changed?
Yes, it has.
How did He change?
He took away all my fears. The truth was that I loved my husband as in so much. Everybody could testify to that. Like I said, I told you something that he saw me. I was really struggling with a lot of things. Financially, socially, a lot of things. But when he came into my life, he redefined it.
Your husband?
Exactly. God, my husband, God used my husband for that.
God used your husband.
I was more, I was more bolder. And, a lot of things I never even thought I could do in my life. Even where I am today, I never thought I can. I'm this person that I take things as it comes, one by one. If I want to buy a car, I prefer, I will just gather my money, work for 10 years, buy a car. But this was a man that was more like faith. I need a car, buy the car tomorrow. No kind of thing. He would gather the money. Anyhow, he was so industrious. Anything I asked for, he was just giving me. He had plans for us. Everything like me that I just take life easy, right? And he was on the fast track.
Wow.
That kind of person. So, and for me to say it was my reward, I knew what I was saying. As in, it got me so much. And taking that from me was like taking life from me.
Yeah.
So I was angry.
Yeah.
It got to a stage that I was like, are you sure, bro? Okay, Mike wasn't taking the place of God in your life.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
I said, are you sure? I'm not thinking of it.
Mm. Yeah. So, just to round off at this
Okay.
point, how did you just, because I'm still focused on that person that is in that phase
Exactly.
where you, how did you move from being angry at God to now saying, God, I see what you're doing?
Like I told you, I started praying, the worship, and God began to speak to me. Like I told you, most times when I was going through some serious problems, He shows me some things in dreams. He will just speak to me.
Wow.
I'm telling you, He will just speak to me. This is going to happen.
Wow.
You understand? And when I just pray about something, the thing will just happen. I don't know how it does it. So the most important for me was that I switched my gear towards having a deeper relationship with God.
With God.
Don't let anything take that away from you.
Yes. And
knowing Him more, loving Him more. You understand? So that was it for me.
Knowing Him more,
loving Him more.
Yeah. I'd like to draw the curtains on this conversation at this point, because now, based on your story, what I can see and what I've come to understand is that usually when a storm comes, when it comes, usually it's sometimes, if it comes as a tool from the enemy, it could be take your focus off God, like an attack. Exactly. And either two things can happen. It's either your gaze is on God, or your focus is on the storm, and the devil takes advantage of that. And the way you can get your focus and your gaze on God is by worshiping. Yes, by worshiping. A deeper relationship. And worshiping in this context is not necessarily singing a song. But it's more about focused on Him. That you love me, you have a plan.
Elroy, you see me. You see me.
Elroy.
You see me.
Elroy.
You see me.
You see me.
You see me.
That's the message to somebody out there. You're going through a storm. No, God sees you. He's just right there beside you, and He wants you to reach out. Let your focus shift to God. Take your eyes off the storm. The storm is there, we know, and
it will be over.
That's another thing, right? Oh, yes.
Yeah,
the storm will be over. It's not forever.
Exactly.
It's not forever. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's an honor.
I'm so blessed. I'm sure so many people out there.
Almond FM. Thank you so much. It's an honor. Beautiful studio.
Thank you.